What's happening, YouTube family? Mikhail here with another tutorial. This one's gonna be quick, easy, and to the point. If you're a photographer and you use Lightroom, this is going to be huge for your workflow. If you don't know how to do this, you're about to learn it. Let's get to it. Today, you're going to learn how to batch edit using Lightroom. Mikhail, what do you mean? What does batch editing mean? What does it do? What does it taste like? What does it smell like? That's weird. Batch editing, essentially what it is just that. It's in the name, right? So like you take this one image, you edit it to your liking, and then you find all the images from that series that have a semi-similar look, and then you apply those same settings that you use on that initial image to all the images after that. In order to do that, we have to get to the computer, so let's go. Alright guys, here we go. Now that we're in Lightroom, let's get working on these images. As you can see on my timeline below, I've selected 6 images that have a consistent look, a consistent light. They're kind of in the same spot. So I chose these family pictures to show you guys how to do this. I'm going to choose the first one right here and go over to my develop module, which is where we are now. And we're going to start by doing a basic edit. So we're going to add a little bit of contrast to this, bring down the shadows, bring down the box a bit. Let's get the exposure up. Let's fix our temperature, our white balance. So another tool is just grabbing the white balance selector or pressing the W key and doing a little click on a neutral color area and seeing what it's supposed to be according to the software, and then you can adjust it from there. I think that's a little too warm, so I'm going to bring it down a bit. I think I like it there. Add a little bit more contrast, and yeah, that's it. Maybe a little bit of clarity. That's it. I think I like this image the way that it is. This is a very basic edit, and what I'm going to do is hold the control key or command if you're on Mac and select the rest of the images from the image timeline. So I'm going to go over here at the bottom right and click sync. Once you click sync, you have to select what part of your edit is it that you want to synchronize the rest of the image with. You want to set it to treatment and profile, white balance and exposure. I would leave those untouched and adjust those per image if the images are not consistent, if the light is not consistent or the white balance is not consistent through all the images. I think for these ones I can probably just select white balance just because the images are so similar. I'm also going to select the exposure because the exposure through the whole timeline is very similar. So everything in this area I want to correct. This is our basic tone. This is the area where we were working, right? The basic module. So we didn't do anything with the tone curves. No, I'm not going to synchronize that. We did adjust the clarity. We just did adjust the haze. We didn't do anything with sharpening, so no. We didn't do anything with vibrance and saturation or color adjustments, no. We didn't do any split toning, so no. No local brushes. And from there, pretty much nothing again. We didn't do any spot removal. Spot removal is tricky. The image has to be almost exactly the same for it to work. So let's uncheck that. And we didn't do any crop, so let's set that. And now we're gonna hit synchronize and watch the magic happen here below. So we'll go on to the next image. Here we go. It's adjusted to the settings of the first. And things get a lot quicker when you have a preset that you use for specific images for your specific look. For example, I have the outsider presets. These are Mikhail originals. So I'm gonna apply Bear Mountain film to this. It's a nice, clean, bright edit. So I'm gonna bring the exposure down a bit. And you know what? Here's what I'll do. I'm gonna reset this so you can actually see what it looks like. And I'm going to sync again all the images so I can bring them back to the reset state. and I'm gonna edit just the one image with bare mountain film. And all I have to do now is adjust my temperature. Still looks a little dark, so I'm gonna adjust the exposure, give it a little tiny bumps, and maybe the contrast a little bit. And I think that's good. So now I'm gonna again select all. You can do that by clicking, holding Control and clicking through the timeline, or just hitting Control A or Command A if you're on a Mac, and then synchronize. And we're going to synchronize everything. But in this scenario, because I apply a preset and I do have a tone curve, I do toy with the sharpening, I do mess with the colors, I do have split toning on this, I don't have any local brushes, graduated filters, or radiator filters, noise reduction, luminance and color, no lens corrections, no transformations, no effect, no spot removals, no crops. So I'm going to synchronize everything. And here we go. This is what we have. Okay, so now here's another version of the synchronizing routine. We're gonna flip this switch and say auto sync. So now anything that you do to this initial image, it will adjust the rest of the images in real time. So I'm gonna hit reset, and as you can see, all the images were reset. So the tricky thing with auto edit is that you always have to be diligent about turning it off and on, or selecting specific images that you want to work on, and not just move on to the next image thinking, for example, okay, I'm gonna apply bare mountain film to this one, and then I'm going to adjust the white balance and the exposure, and you think, okay, great, I think I like it there, I'm gonna move on to my next image. And in this scenario, because the images are so similar in lighting, it doesn't make that much of a difference. But say that this image, let's illustrate this. Let's illustrate it this way. So I'm gonna deselect everything, and I go to the specific image, and I'm gonna increase the exposure like ridiculous amount. Right? Say that this is the way that the image was taken somehow, for some godforsaken reason you took an image like this, and you're here and select all, and you are in the develop module selecting auto sync. If you do that and you go and make a little tweak to this image, forgetting that you've selected all the image and you're using auto sync, you're going to go, okay, I'm gonna increase the brightness, increase the exposure, and you're like, oh, that's good, I'm gonna move on to the next image. But wait, like, oh no, that's a bummer, because the other image that you had it looked like that already. So now, after you increase the image on the previous one, it will end up looking something like this, because the zero exposure for this image, we're pretending that it was like this. So by increasing one step on the previous image, you end up with an image that looks like that. Anyways, moral of the story, don't get into auto editing until you're absolutely auto sync, until you're absolutely ready to take that step. Okay guys, I hope you found this tutorial to be really helpful, and I hope that you can take this and use it in your photography, in your editing, to help you maximize the time that you have to spend on each photograph. I hope that you can take this and just make it yours, take it, cut it, cook it, I don't know. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Please like this video, subscribe if you aren't already, and don't forget to ring the notification bell so you are made aware when the next video goes live, goes up, it's posted, whatever. You know what I mean. Anyways, I gotta head out of here, you guys. Going to the Blue Jackets game with my old man tonight. So, for now, Mikhail, out.